On behalf of every New South Welshman, thank you, Billy Slater. So it's been about a couple days since the Queensland Game 3 team dropped, and as I just basically said, I am so happy that David Fifita isn't in this football team. And I simply just don't understand it. Now, there was a report as I'm recording this that Darren Lockyer came out and basically said that David Fifita isn't fit enough and has too many errors in his game. And I don't know what games Lockyer has been watching, but from what I can see, David Fifita is still easily a top-tier back rower in this entire competition. And look, for Fifita to miss out to an Angus Crichton, a Liam Martin, a Haumole Olakau'atu, a Cameron Murray, I would understand it, but with the greatest respect to both Kurt Capewell and Jeremiah Nanai, not to mention he's fully dropped Jaden Sewer, I simply cannot believe that David Fifita didn't make this Queensland team. And like I said after the Game 2 review, with Queensland missing so many prominent middles in both Tino and Tommy Flegler, to not even have Fifita as a guy who could come on through the middle for some 20-minute stints to match Spencer Leniu, to give Cotter, to give Carrigan a rest, and just come on through the middle and change momentum if Queensland are getting rolled like they did in Game 2. I'm just simply amazed that Billy didn't pick David Fifita, especially looking at that starting pack and looking at their bench. Fully respect to Kurt Capewell. He's going to try his heart out, but it doesn't matter. I would rather a David Fifita at 90% than a Kurt Capewell at 100%. And in a Game 3 decider at Suncorp Stadium, trust me, you're going to get 100% of David Fifita. And look, Kurt Capewell a few years ago, I could understand it. Unfortunately, he hasn't been at his best at the Warriors. And without being too disrespectful to Kurt Capewell, it's David Fifita. So as a Blues fan, I'm so happy he's not in the team. Obviously, Capewell and Nanai have the capability to do something special in a Game 3 decider. But with Angus Crichton and Liam Martin being two of New South Wales' best in those first two games, it's hard to see why Billy has gone with Capewell and Nanai. Billy has his reasons, and obviously he's a bit smarter than I am, which may come as a shock to some of you. But even that, with Capewell and Nanai starting, not to have Fifita on the bench, I mean, once again, Queensland have gone with such a small bench. A New South Wales bench, you could argue it's got an upgrade with Mitchie Barnett there. Noe Fodawaker becomes really the only major prop who could come on the field. Felice Galfusi, he is basically essentially a middle/back rower cover, so I'm sure he'll get some game time, but we're talking about middles who can come on and change the game. I'm surprised they didn't go with Fifita. I think Kafusi may come in and start in the back row. We could see Capewell drop to the bench, but even then, it is such a small bench full pack compared to Spencer Leniu, Mitch Barnett, and Isaiah Yeo. So I do think that if New South Wales forwards can get the role, and if Jakey can snap blokes, if Payne Haas can go through the middle like they did in Game 2, then it could really be Red Rover. For me, it just doesn't make sense. And obviously, Billy, obviously, Lockie, obviously, JT, they've got their reasoning. But when you got a thoroughbred, one of the best forwards of this generation in David Fifita, I can't believe he's not on this team. Like I said, not even just off the bench. If they are worried about fatigue, if they are worried about his errors, bring him on off the bench, through the middle, match Spencer Leniu, match Mitchie Barnett, because this could honestly be so much similar to Game 2 for Queensland. And the bench is small, obviously. Harry Grant, now he is battling a sternum injury, so by the time this video comes out, Reed Marnie could be in the 14, but obviously they've also got Kalen Ponga. Look, it obviously worked in Game 1, and Billy not having an outside backbench cover didn't work in Game 2, but the beauty of Kalen Ponga is he's done this before. He's come on, played through the middle, and he can play anywhere in the back line, and he could even play anywhere in the halves if you don't want to mess with that dummy half rotation with Ben Hunt and Harry Grant. I said before the series that I thought Queensland were going to be really reliant on Reece Walsh, and obviously Walsh, he missed Game 1 because Suaalii tried to kill him, and then Game 2 he wasn't at his best, and looked what happened. Tom did and DCE set up 3, well, let's face it, tries when New South Wales decided they were going to start punch-ons instead of playing rugby league football. But I do really like Ponga on the bench for Queensland. As a New South Welshman, it absolutely terrifies me, and I think their 1-7 is probably the best it's been so far this series. Now, obviously you want Xavier Coates in there. He's probably one of the best wingers in the competition, but I do think Valentine Holmes, despite him playing the last few years at centre for both Queensland and the Cowboys, is probably a better winger. Selwyn Cobbo, I'm great to see him back on the wing, and between Cobbo, Gagai, Hammer, and Valentine Holmes, you got some serious X factor, not to mention who you've got at number 1 with Reece Walsh, and then you've got the best halfback in the entire competition. So with Game 2 previews, Queensland just need to get a quick momentum, quick play the ball on a spot on the field, and then you've got those playmakers and you've got that strike out one. With no Latrell, without their presence there, and with Stephen Crichton defending defending on the right, even having some lapses in the early part of Game 2, Queensland can easily find success. I think this game is really going to come down to the big moments because I do think that New South Wales forward pack for most of the game is probably going to get the better of Queensland. But can New South Wales halves Mitchy Moses, Jerome Loy, Dylan Edwards score enough points? Because Queensland, they're only going to need limited opportunities. And when you pair the strike in that back line with probably the best halfback in the competition right now, the best Origin halfback we've seen since probably the Immortal team, then they can cause some serious damage. That's what I think the game will come down to. That's why I'm so shocked Billy didn't pick David Fifita, not even on the bench. Like, come on, Billy. I know you're a bush poet. He's sticking to his guns, and either he's going to look like a genius or he's going to look like one very, very silly boy. But ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Has Billy Slater screwed the Maroons' chances of winning the decider at Suncorp Stadium? Who should be favourites? Let me know your thoughts in that comment section. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet already, and I'll see you in the next one.